Have you ever walked into a room and feel like someone was watching you but nobody was there? Or maybe it's more than that. Doors creaking on their own, whispers in the middle of the night, something sitting in your chest while you're sleeping. Which, that is not your imagination. That could possibly be a haunting. But not all hauntings are the same. And if you're going to defend your space, you need to know what exactly are you dealing with. Because you don't clean residual energy the same way you banish a predatory spirit. Today, we are going to walk through the 4 main type of hauntings that every witch should know. We're going to be discussing this amazing book by J. Allen Cross, The Witch Guide to the Paranormal. If this is something that interests you, stick around, witch, because it's so interesting and it's coming up right now. Hi Witches Recipe, this is WhiteRaven over here. Today's Monday, so happy Magic Monday to all of you guys. Thank you for being here yet one more Monday. If you're new into this channel, I welcome you. Again, my name is WhiteRaven and I am here to teach you magic from my perspective. And everything I learn, I will share in here in this channel. I have also almost 600 videos on spells to help you and assist you in anything that you may possibly need. So if you find this information useful, you like the content of this channel, please do not leave without subscribing to this channel. Hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every Monday, and also please like the videos that you see. I promise you that you will learn a lot if you stay here with me. And if you're one of my regulars, I welcome you as well. Thank you so much for all the love, guys, witches. Every time I receive messages, they move my heart in such a way. This morning, I was listening to one of your messages and I almost cried because you guys are so awesome. It makes me so happy. My whole purpose in life is to empower you and to make you understand that magic is something that you can do, right? That you have what it takes to protect yourself and to take charge of your life, right? To defend yourself, to send back evil that has been inflicted upon you, perhaps over years and years and years of abuse. You got what it takes to send that back. And sometimes all we need is justify anger and the wanting to get even and send everything, all the pain that we have within our hearts, send it back to the evildoer they inflicted upon you. This is a book that I have talked to you guys about so many times. It is such a fascinating book. And from the beginning, I want to let you guys know that this is a book that you need to have. This is a book that me, WhiteRaven, recommend to every single one of you. It is simple to understand. It is very down to earth. It is so good to read. You're not going to get bored. This is what I call a 10 out of 10 book. That is not to say that they may be more in depth, more, elaborated books in regards to this topic. But to me, this is such a great beginner's intermediate book that every single witch or anybody that aspires to be a witch needs to read, because paranormal stuff are things that as witches we are going to encounter, and we need to know what they are and how to address them so we can successfully get rid or banish or control this type of thing. So today I'm going to discuss with you the 4 main type of hauntings that we must know and understand. All the information from this video has been taken from this book, and I'm going to refer to exercises in this book for you to follow. So check out this book and do yourself a favor. Get it. If something is messing with your peace, your lights are flickering, you see shadows, you're having nightmares, you just don't reach for a candle thinking that that's going to be done. You need to know what kind of haunting you are dealing with in order to successfully tackle it. So today I'm going to be using J. Allen Cross' book, The Witch's Guide to the Paranormal, to teach you the difference between those 4 different hauntings so you can banish and take care of them. Number 1, we're going to start with a residual energy, which is everything in this world, everything that we see vibrates. Energy is vibration. Our bodies is vibrating. This book is vibrating. Everything vibrates, and that is energy. Certain things absorb energy, and they also release it very easily. Other things absorb energy. They take energy from the ether, they absorb it, and they maintain it for a very long time. Residual energy, it is not a ghost. It is a looping energy imprinted in something, like a spiritual record stuck on repeat all the time. It's just looping and repeating. There is no consciousness, there is no interaction. They are just leftover vibes from something intense, like abuse, like trauma, like a war, like a catastrophe, grief, rage, death, and even joy. Let me give you an example. I have to tell you guys that I love to go to Gettysburg. So every time I go to Gettysburg, I tend to have very strong experiences. In one particular occasion, one of the images that I saw was a looping woman coming in and out of the wall many times. As a matter of fact, I was staying in a hotel and I saw this the entire night. She was coming in and out of the wall, in and out of the wall, in and out of the wall. That is residual energy. So how do you get residual energy into a place? Well, we already mentioned a place like Gettysburg, which is a lot of traumatic, violent death. A place that has something that repeats a lot. Like, for example, a house with a lot of abuse, and it's repeating the abuse day in and day out. That energy can imprint in that house, and you can see it many years after the people that created that energy no longer lives there or even no longer exists in this world. Another example is emotional imprinting. Let's say that somebody lives in a place and this person is always crying because he's suffering, and there's a lot of crying day in and day out. That person is going to leave an imprint of that moment, of those feelings, and perhaps the imprint of herself crying every night. You're going to see a lot of residual energy in a lot of places. Again, in battlefields, you're going to see a lot of this residual energy. You're also going to see this in places like Auschwitz, for example. You're going to see residual energy perhaps in hospitals, perhaps in mental asylums, perhaps in prisons. You're going to see a lot of residual energy. And yes, why not in a lot of houses, particularly in houses that witness a lot of abuse. How do you recognize this energy and you understand that is residual energy? Well, the first thing, and what I said before, you are going to see an image that is looping. That is very common to see something repeating itself on and on and on and on. Also, you are going to see an apparition at the same time, on the same day, same moments, doing the exact same thing every time that you see it. Also, this apparition is going to seem like it's not noticing you at all, never reacts to you. It feels like you're watching a scene from a movie. And so how do you get rid of this type of energies? First, understand that you are releasing trapped memories and vibrations. According to J. Alan Cross' book, he prefers to clean all this type of looping energies with smoke. He visualized that these energies are as light as the smoke, and he can just elevate them and dissipate them. He also mentions in his book that he visualized these energies as dandelion seeds floating around into the ether. So this is one of the ways in which he dissipates all this energy. Herbs that you can use to create this smoke or this incense are rosemary, for example, lemongrass, and also you can use bay leaves. Another thing that you can use to elevate and dissipate this energy is sound. You can use music, particularly classical music. You can use singing bowls to elevate and dissipate this energy. You can use bells and wind chimes or any other instruments that will alter this type of vibrations. Of course, you can accompany all this with prayers. If you are not comfortable with prayers, you can use poems, and these are in the words of J. Alan Cross, and I thought that was extremely clever because sometimes we are not very religious, but we are able to chant chant beautiful poems, or you can create your own chants. Also, and I thought of this as a clever idea, if you practice Reiki, or if you know of someone that practices Reiki, Reiki is a great method for you to clear out these residuals looping energies. Visualize residual energy as a type of unhealed trauma in a house or in a location. Last, and this is not to scare you witches, there is a very rare possibility of encountering a residual energy that no matter what you do cannot be broken or dissipated. But just know that residual energy is not dangerous, despite the fact that sometimes it could be extremely disturbing. Number 2, and I think one of the most popular things that we see out there, earthbound human spirits. So what are earthbound human spirits? Well, which is ghosts. Human souls that have not crossed over. And they are stuck due to trauma. They are stuck due to fear of judgment, confusion, and even emotional attachments. How do they get here? How do they actually become? Many times because of their own free will, which is sometimes a death that is very sudden and perhaps even violence. It doesn't have to be violence, but something very sudden. Fear of what is out there in the other side, right? Once they die, they know they have to go somewhere and they're afraid of what's out there. Example of these are the spirits of children, religious people thinking that they're going to go to hell, people that have unalived themselves, of course, they are very afraid of going to hell, people that died with unfinished business, emotional anchors, like they want to watch over family members, or even a child spirit attached to a toy or attached to mom and dad. Something really important that you need to know, which is our sadness. Our sadness would not let some spirit move along. And something very sad, sometimes they become trapped in the same suffering that they have when they were alive. They have some type of attachment to their physical body. Sometimes the soul loves the body too much and the spirit is just totally restless. Hexes, other witches, can send you a spirit to torment you. And it's important to know, witches, that not all of them are bad. Which is something extremely important. These spirits, no matter what they are, good or bad, they're not supposed to stay in the in-between space. That's not what they're meant to do. You're supposed to die and move along. They definitely are not supposed to stay in this middle plane forever. Since while they are in that in-between space, they will become weaker. And in turn, they like to feed out of what? Out of us. Out of our energy. They need this to survive. And the weaker they get, then they like to stir really strong emotion in us humans, because those strong emotions are going to be giving them more food. Just to put it that way. Emotions like that are going to be violence, are going to be anger, are going to be sadness and depression. Furthermore, witches, with the passing of times, these spirits will become very troubled and they will lose any of their human traits, becoming abominations. There's a lot of interesting stuff here in this book, so I suggest for you to check it out to learn more about human spirits. So how did you recognize when you have one of the spirits around? Well, you're going to feel watch. You're going to have dreams of the deceased. Activity is going to increase, especially if you pay attention to it. If you have any type of devices at home with EMF devices are going to spike a lot. I have used some of those devices in Gettysburg because I've done some investigation in places in Gettysburg. I don't do that anymore. I have some conflict opinions about ghost hunting. Listen, witches, let me tell you something. Don't look for things if you don't need to look for things, you know. I have a lot of friends that tells me that, oh, WhiteRaven, I feel like there's a lot of spirits in your house, blah, blah. You know what? I acknowledge that, but I'm not going to be here with a spirit box and EMF detectors and things like that looking for the spirits in my house. Leave them alone. That's what they do. They're hanging around. They move along. They come in. They come out. So what I'm trying to say, if you think you have this type of things in your house, which I think most of us do, I think the spirit world and the human world mingle the entire time, all the time. Just because we don't see them doesn't mean they're not there. But we don't need to be looking for them. We really do not be looking for them, because I personally think we become beacons and we open doors for attachment. So leave them alone. I'm giving you all this information just in case you already have all these issues right in your face and you need help trying to getting things under control or banish what you have. Okay? a lot of these earthbound human spirits sometimes could act very mischievously, like kids. Even though they're not kids, they like to do tricks or tricksters. And they also like to mimic people. Like sometimes you will be at home all by yourself and you hear your husband calling you and you know your husband is not there. And a lot of us have experienced that in our lives. So those are some examples on ways in which earthbound human spirits manifest themselves. How do we take care of these spirits? Well, which is honestly, all these spirits, they need to cross over. That's how you help these spirits. They need to cross over. That will be the best thing that you do for these things. Neither you or me know how to do this. And guess what? Let me show you something. In page 116, you have an exercise to open the lights for these spirits. So in other words, this is something that you can do yourself. You have to get the book, learn how to create these white lights for the spirits so they can move along. It's not difficult. You can do it. I can do it. That's the best thing that you can do. Learn how to create that light so you can open the door so they can just walk through and finally cross to the other side. Otherwise, you can try your typical things like salt. Any smoke that you create that is unpleasant in odor. You can use devil's dung, which is a saffetida. You can use garlic or garlic skin. You can also burn rue. You can also burn white sage. And when it comes to white sage, which is make sure that is ethically collected. You can also burn thyme or rosemary. Those are good things that you can burn. You can use lilac, either flowers or essential oil of lilac, because lilac is sent to expel this type of spirits out of your space. Last, command them to leave. Your voice. You sternly tell them, you move out of here. This is my space, not yours. Number 3, the infamous poltergeist. So what is a poltergeist? This is your own or somebody else's energy totally flipping out. Typically, it is said that this is found around teenagers, also people that have heavy stress, or somebody that is trying to stop their psychic abilities. How does these type of poltergeists get to be? How do they become? Emotional instability or trauma. I'm going to give you an example, and it has also to do with me. This is right before I started to become a witch. I went through very, very, very hard. This is why I'm a witch, which is very hard time in my life. Very dark, very, very, very dark. I cry a lot. I suffer a lot, and there was so much pain, so much anxiety, more than anything else, more than pain, more than crying, more than anything else. There was a lot of anguish and anxiety, no sleeping, a lot of like nervousness. And I know deep in my heart that I created a poltergeist in the house that I was living. And I don't know if you've seen the movie The Poltergeist. You know how the house started to have like blobs and slime all over the house? The house that I was living, which is, I remember one of the walls it was like one of the walls in my house was bleeding. One day I moved one of the couches and behind there was just streak of like, it seemed to be blood coming out of the walls, dripping down. I'm not kidding you, witches. This is one of the most shocking things that I ever seen in my life. And also the ceiling of my house had dots, like if the house was ill with like chickenpox. After I left the house, there was people that lived in the house and they went through a lot of hardship as well. Now I live very far away from that house and I feel a little bit bad that I did not know the things that I know now, and I was never able to clear out that house. I feel like something was left in that space. Poltergeist is energy that comes out of us and it could materialize. Poltergeists need to be kept in check. And that has to do also with your emotions and the things that we put out there. People with suppressed psychic powers can also create poltergeists. And also, and perhaps this is why it's so linked to teenagers, projection. Projection of rage, projection of anger, projection of chaotic energy. Those type of things can create poltergeists. And so how do you recognize and differentiate this from another haunting? Poltergeists bring about a lot of loud and chaotic activity. Stacked or moving objects, fires, things appearing out of nowhere and disappearing into thin air, wet spots, like I said, stains in your walls and things like that have no reason to be there. Intensifies when a specific person is present, and it responds to emotional outbounds. How do you fix poltergeists? In page 137, grounding of the space, you are going to have an exercise on how to ground your home and get rid of poltergeists. Obviously, if this is something created by a person that lives with you, addressing the issue is important. Also, it's very important that you get psychological help either for you or for the person that is creating this phenomenon. Now, we're going to go to the most difficult of all these hauntings, and these are inhuman spirits. There is a list from here to the moon of the different type of spirits that are inhuman that could be hunting you. Now, I'm going to give you some examples, and some of them you're going to know, and some other ones you have no clue what they are. But number one, the fairies. They are inhuman spirits that can actually hunt you. Do not be into the thinking that fairies are all cutesy and they're good for you. Fairies are spirits of the forest, spirits of Mother Nature, and these type of spirits are vicious. They could be a pest. They could be very dangerous, and they could be very disrupted. You can have, for example, spirits of animals, and when we're talking about animals, we're talking about animals that never existed, like in our realm. Okay, I'm not talking about cats, I'm not talking about dogs, I'm talking about animals that we have never seen. Shadow people is in that list. We have discussed shadow people. I'm going to link in the description of the video that I did on shadow people, so you can check it out. I also speak about a phenomenal book in that video that you should get if you want to know more about shadow people or if you're encountering shadow people. Demonic entities. Yes, demonic entities are part of the inhuman spirits that could be hunting you. Predatory and parasitic entities, something very popular as of late, thought forms, things that people think about and they create with their mind, and collective energy make them bigger and bigger and bigger. Next, one of the most vicious spirits out there, more protective spirits out there, to me scary spirits out there, forest spirits, the incubus and the succubus. Some people is terrorized by the incubus and the succubus, and some other people actually don't mind the visit of the spirits. And which is, they are so many more things that we have never seen, things that have shapes that we can never in your human brain could possibly imagine until we actually see them. I mean, the sky is the limit. There is a huge list from here to the moon about the different type of inhuman spirits that could haunt your location. How do you get one of these things and creatures to haunt your space? Listen up. Construction or clearing out of a forest. You disrupt a lot of those forest spirits. Big time. Trespassing sacred spaces. As a matter of fact, Jason Miller in his book, Protection and Reversal Magic, oh my god, I feel like I talk about that book in every single video. He has a part in that book in which he tells you about, I think it's 5 different ways in which you can be hunted. And this is one of them. Trespassing a sacred space. Meaning, you are in the forest and you walk through a place that you know you shouldn't be walking. Don't be disrupting nature. That is trespassing. So be very careful. Sometimes it's sacred land. Do not trespass sacred land. Sometimes we do it without knowing. Be very aware when you go into the forest, because there's a lot of sacred spaces and spots in the forest. Another thing is stealing things from places. Again, I'm going to go back to the forest. If you go into the forest and you find something super cute that is so rare that you know, which is you should not take with you, and you grab it and you disrupt nature, there you go. Boom. You're going to have an attachment with you, and you're going to have a hunting from the worst kind of spirits out there, which are the forest spirits. Don't do it. Another thing, you invite things, you open portals, and this is something that I tell you all the time. You must be very knowledgeable when you practice magic, because one of the most common ways for you to invite the wrong type of spirits into your space is by invoking things that you don't know, or by doing magic without proper preparation and protection, calling on spirits that you don't know how to send back, or calling spirits and forgetting that you need to send back, etc., etc., etc. So, irresponsible magic is the biggest, most open door for any type of these spirits to walk through and invade your space. A witch can also send you ugly spirits to terrorize you, disturb land like ley lines, curse grounds, and again, battlefields. Certain objects, if you go to an antique shop, for example, you may grab something that has some attachment and some spirits and is linked to something really dark. So be very mindful when you go to secondhand stores and you buy things, because you can bring something home that you really should not have. And the last example that I'm going to give you, and again, there's many examples to this because there's so many different spirits. Which is you can be a beacon for this type of spirits with your attitude. People that has, and I have given you examples of when you live with people that are narcissistic, the energy open the doors for dark entities. If you live with someone that is always cussing, that is always in a bad mood, that is always violent and mean and nasty, and every word that comes out of their mouth is vermin, I am sorry to tell you that that person is going to open the doors to very ugly entities to enter your space. What are some ways to recognize these hauntings? These type of spirits are going to mimic voices. You're going to have nightmares. You are going to see figures. Animals that live with you are going to avoid certain spot. I have talked to you about this in many videos, which is you're going to feel hot or cold spots in your house. There's spaces in your home that are going to feel dense as if you were walking underwater. You're going to have physical reactions to these type of things like nausea, like headaches, like you're going to feel ill. You will be experiencing sleep paralysis. You're going to see apparitions. You're going to feel oppression and so many other things. There's going to be signs in your home, smells, bugs. There's so many things that are going to show up in your space when you are being invaded or hunted by any of these type of spirits. You're going to hear noises outside of your house. So many different things. How do you get rid of this type of spirits? Which is the first thing that I'm going to tell you is like avoid at all costs doing the things that get them into your space in the first place. That's the most important thing. Avoid it. Because some are easy to be banished, but some other ones, they are not. They could be extremely stubborn and you're going to need professional help to get rid of these spirits. But if it's the Fae or any type of fairies that are terrorizing you, try to do an offering for them outside of your house and build some houses for them outside of your house, of course. If it's extremely extreme, iron scares fairies away. So keep iron in the four corners of your home. If you steal something, I don't want to use this word steal, but if you get something because it was so pretty and you took it out of some place in the forest, give it back. Give it back, whatever it is, just give it back. If you feel like you have trespassed a place in the forest and after that you've been having a lot of issues with different type of hauntings, go back to the spot and give an offering. A good offering that I give to the spirits of the forest is always milk and honey. That's what I do. I give milk and honey. For astral parasites, smoke cleansing or cleansing bath is good. For thought forms, you can't dissolve them with mental magic or visualization. You just destroy them with your mind. Which is, it's really important that in moments like this, you use your protector spirits, like Saint Michael the Archangel, Saint Benedict for anything that has to do with demons and the devil. Call upon Hecate, call upon Mother Kuan Yin, call upon La Santa Muerte, which is call upon your ancestors and your warrior spirits. Again, you can place iron spikes in the four corners of your house. You can also use scissors, iron nails, cemetery nails all over your house. I also mix silver with black salt and I use that in the thresholds of my house. You can bury offerings in your property, like for example, bread with honey. These ways you appease any type of spirits that are not liking you being in your space. You can clean your home with ammonia, with camphor, with lemon. You can burn sulfur with dragon's blood. That will just really get rid of a lot of this nasty vermin. You can burn a black candle dress, and you're gonna have to have open windows for this one, but you can burn a black candle dressed with cayenne pepper, rue, and some garlic oil. You burn that in your space. Make sure the windows are open because cayenne pepper is going to be a little bit irritant. And last, which is exorcist. And let me tell you something that is not to be taken lightly. And just because I'm saying it here in such a casual way does not mean in any way, shape, or form that this is something that anybody can do and it's easy to do. But if you have what it takes to do things like that, J. Allen Cross has a ritual in this book. It's going to teach you how to do an exorcism. It's in page 172. I am going to show you really quick. Right here, performing an exorcism. So in this book, you're going to have all the information that you may need in order to get rid of many of these things. Witches, you are not helpless. You are not powerless. The more you understand what you're dealing with, the more you step into your role. Not as a victim, but as a witch with authority. Whether it's lingering grief, trapped souls, wild psychic energy, or something darker, you have the tools. Your voice, your fire, your spirit, your will. If this video lit something in your heart, in your brain, if it tickles your mind, I highly recommend that you get a copy of this book so you can study this further. It's filled with wisdom, real rituals, it's easy to read, it's down to earth, and you will not get bored. And let's not even talk about all the information that you are going to acquire. This book is going to inspire you and is going to take your protection magic to the next level. From the bottom of my heart, witches, I wish you the best. And that's it, witches. Thank you so very much for being here with me yet another Monday. Remember that if you like this video, leave a comment down below. Tell me, witches, have you experienced any poltergeists in your house? I'm very curious to know. Tell me if you have experiences and how you get rid of them. I love to know what you have lived. It's really fascinating to me. This topic is incredibly fascinating. If you have any questions, visit my website, WhiteRaven and you can email me there if you have any questions in regards how to get the book or about the book, about magic and whatnot. Remember that I do not work for people, nor do I give magical coaching. If you need a spell, please come into this channel because I have almost 600 videos in here and many of them are spells that you can use and they are going to help you. I want to say thank you again for all the love that I receive from you guys every single day, from all the gifts that I have received on the mail. You guys really move my heart. You guys are amazing. The only reason that I'm here, which is because of you. Remember that you can also visit me in Facebook, WhiteRaven and Witches Slayer. Check out my products in my website, WhiteRaven and WitchesLayer.com. I am very happy to help you with any of your magical endeavors. Witches, stay protected. Stay powerful. Never forget, you are the witch and your space belongs to you. I love my Mondays with you. Thank you for being here another Magic Monday. Remember that knowledge is power. The more you learn, the more power you acquire, witches, because this is a never-ending magical path. But with all that power, you must discern and you must stay so very wicked. See you Monday. Bye.